Hey everybody, how's it going today? It's Vesper Video. This is my theme park I made with the Hyper Mega Coaster. It's just ridiculously large and takes up most of the park. So my inspiration for this park was, there was this park I used to go to when I was a kid. It was called Conneaut Lake Park. There wasn't much there. It was a very small park. So I wanted to make something like that, but it prominently featured this wooden roller coaster called the Blue Streak. And it really wasn't nothing too special. It was still pretty cool. Like, it wasn't like a mega coaster, but like, it got me thinking, how did a park just have a bunch of little tiny rides on a single roller coaster and still manage to function? So I decided to build that and build something inspired by it, but also I wanted to make sure that we had a hyper mega coaster here, not just a regular, like literally a coaster that was the entire park. This is the reason people would come here. I was inspired by, like, what if I was an eccentric coaster maker and some industrialist billionaire gave me like a blank check and said, build something that pushes things to the limit. Push decency and common sense to its limits in coaster technology. So that's what I tried to do. So yeah, put a couple smaller rods in, just decorations. Yeah, there's not really much in this place for decorations. Roller coaster's just way too big. So we have this thing right here so you can get a view of the roller coaster. We have I swear they had one of these up at the Conneaut Lake Park, a ride that was very similar. They definitely had something like this. Snack bars. We also decided to add a couple historical roller coasters in here for fun, so let's ride one of them first. This one right here is the Coney Island Cyclone. Never rode this, it was before my time, but I was a big wooden roller coaster fan. I really enjoy riding wooden ones, so alright, let's just starting up. Someone else made this one, but I just threw it in the park, Thankfully, they have an excellent creator content workshop where you can download things that other creators have made and throw them right into your park, and somebody was nice enough to make this one. Remain seated. Who's going to stand up on a roller coaster? But yeah, these roller coasters exist in the park to give people a baseline of like what regular coaster technology was like, wooden coasters. Like, this is a real life coaster. As you can see, it doesn't tower 800 feet into the air, nor is it over 10 miles long. Let's see, how long is this? 3,700 feet, so what's that, about roughly 3/4 of a mile? The max speed of 53 miles per hour at an average speed of 25 miles per hour. The biggest drop is 85 feet. The duration is 104 seconds, so let's keep in mind of these facts. We could always compare to them after we ride the Hyper Mega Ultra Coaster. Yeah, this is a real coaster, or was a real coaster until they tore it down. I bet it was fondly loved by all. Okay, that was the Thunderbolt, or the Cyclone. A nice little coaster. Okay, we got the Ferris wheel. Here's some snack places. And also this park had a hotel. It was a huge Victorian-era hotel. Like, it looked like something that, like, George Westinghouse and Andrew Carnegie would have stayed in. It was beautiful. Had no air conditioning, though. That anchored the park to the hotel. The park was small. It was literally like one of these roads in an intersection like this. But I decided to make it a little bigger for our park. It had a lot of things. It had an old carousel in it. It was excellent. What else did it have? I know for a fact it had this ride. This was one of my favorite rides, because I like the little rides. I'm not really a big ride person. Alright, so here's our second historical roller coaster. The Jackrabbit. This is a coaster that exists and still exists to this day. It's over 100 years old, I believe, or close. It's in Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So, let's give it a ride. Okay, open testing. Let's see. Start test. Stop test. Start. Okay, so let's give this a ride. This one's about a half a mile long. A little close to a half a mile. A max speed of 57 miles per hour. And the biggest drop is 78 feet. Okay, start the test. Yes, let's take this for a ride. This is actually an excellent coaster. It's probably my favorite roller coaster in real life. It's just very simple. Takes you back to a long begotten era where rides just had to keep getting bigger and bigger. Like I don't want to be 400 feet in the air. Like no, that's not fun to me. I want to be like 100 feet in the air. I don't even want to be that high in the air. Keep me close to the ground. Yeah, so this is a very basic and austere ride compared to the roller coaster that towers over. Look at this thing. Wow. Okay, so we're up the hill. And also this roller coaster has what's known as a double dip in it. Which we're about to see really shortly here. See how it like drops like that? That's the double dip. I don't know why they call it that, but it feels really weird, like you're going to fly out of your seat. Supposedly it's the only roller coaster in the world with that feature. Except for the Hyper Mega Ultra Coaster, which features numerous of them. I was like, hey, let's use this. Yep, that was the ride, basically. A simple coaster. That's one you could take your kids on, you know? Have a good time. Nobody's going to get hurt. Nobody's going to be too scared. You know? So anyway, let's go to the Hyper Mega Ultra Coaster. Okay, here's where it starts. To get to this coaster, you have to climb a 350-foot staircase. It's just pretty damn big. Okay, so anyway, now we've reached it. Nobody's riding the coaster for some reason. Nobody's in line. Oh, it's because it's in testing mode. Okay, let's open it up again. Let's get in the seat and let's ride. Engage. Okay, hold up. Send this thing on its way, man. Okay, it's not playing ball. Okay, so we're just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. And we'll open it afterwards. Alright, so here we go. This coaster is basically like a 12-segment coaster. It's like 12 roller coasters in one. This is segment one. There's a local roller coaster that starts off in the air and then immediately drops, and I wanted to use that as inspiration for this first section. It's called the Thunderbolt. Come up this dive bomb right here. Slow down. Not really too many ups in this section. It's mainly down. We use a lot of brakes in our coasters. Some people would disagree with our coaster design philosophy, but hey, you know, some people like Pepsi, other people like Coke. So let's keep going here. Whee! Hit that dip. Alright, now the first section is over. Here's section 2. Section 2 has more like ups and downs to it. Now we're taking the slow ascent. slow ascent up. Hopefully it works out for us. Okay, here we go. Also, I built that lake for the park. The park needed a lake. And so now we hit this huge dive bomb right here and reach speeds of 78 miles per hour, which would make this the fastest wooden roller coaster in the world, I believe, on hybrid. This is just a taste of what's to come. This is just showing people, hey, you ain't seen nothing yet. We're pushing it to the limit. And here, you're ready. Next part right here. This is where the limit gets thrown out the window. So now we climb. We climb. Let's probably bring up the timer here. This is a long climb. Actually, I don't have a timer, so. Yeah, we're climbing at 14 miles per hour here. Building up the excitement. As you can see, pretty high up in the air here. I think most people would be terrified at this point. I don't think there's a roller coaster in the world that goes this high. It's definitely not a wooden roller coaster that's this high. So, this would probably be impossible to build in real life. So, okay, here we go. Here we go. Now we reach speeds of over 140 miles an hour. Of 140 miles an hour. And drop about 700-800 feet. Probably about 700 something feet. And this part right here is meant to be like a cool down, you know, a very peaceful part after that huge hill climb and dive bomb. But I just wanted to push it to the limits, you know, see how far of a drop we could do. Well, that was good from high to low as fast as possible. So now the next couple sections are way more peaceful. Okay, and that was the end of section 3. Section 4 right here is section 4 is like meant to be more of like a traditional coaster style, like nothing too serious. I would not feel safe going through these tracks like this. Also, this part was very tough to get right because up here there was a lot of like bumpy parts of the track we had to smooth out. It took a lot of work and reworking this section to make it finally work without scaring the living crap out of people, so. Alright, here we go. And that was section 4. So here comes section 5. Now section 5, I believe, is based off of a double helix. I was like, we should just throw a double helix in here. Or a helix, whatever it is. I don't know if it's a double or not. Like, there has to be a helix in this roller coaster, because why not? Yes, I believe that is this section. So this part was tough to get right too, because you need like the perfect amount of speed to enter it, but you also have to take into account the speed you're going to exit at. I would have preferred to get it a little lower through there, but it seemed pretty tough to do. This part right here was very difficult to get right. See how the fear spikes up into the 8s? Anything above 9 is like unacceptable. I try to keep it 8 or less. 8 is enough. Okay, and then it smooths out here a little bit after the helix to be more relaxing. This is the more gentle part. You want to keep people unsuspecting, you know, like you want it to switch between calm and reasonable and absolutely ridiculous. So that ends section 5. And now we begin our second giant climb to section 6. Now, the last one, section 3, was all about how can we get from high to low as fast as possible. This section's more about how can we get high to where we need to go slowly and enjoyably. So there was no more like You know, ridiculous crap. No 800-foot drops here. Like, this part would, you know, people might actually want to ride this part. Not me, but... Okay, here we go. So here comes section 6. I like doing a lot of, like, undulation, personally, with the track. I like a lot of ups and downs. Little dips. So here comes section 6. Section 6 was another part that was hard to get right. I'll put some brakes in right around here. Right. Now this part coming up was suggested to me by viewers, like, you should just have 5 hills in a row, 5 diving hills in a row, and I was like, okay. So that's what we did. This is now section 7, which is known as 5 dive bombs in a row. Tough to get these right. The most important thing was to give people a feeling of weightlessness. You feel like you're gently being lifted out of your seat. See how the excitement peaks up into like the 9s here? Alright, so now we're about to end section 7 and get into section 8. After these little corkscrew turns. I know these took a lot of work too. You got to get the speed perfect. All right. So now here's section 8 was inspired by the Jackrabbit. It was meant to be a more traditional feeling roller coaster. That's what my inspiration was here. You got like its own little roller coaster within a roller coaster. I guess, you know, it is going ridiculously fast the entire time, but hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. Yeah, that's basically section 8, nice little peaceful section. And here comes section 9. I forget what section 9 was inspired by, but this is meant to be a long, like, single piece of track without gaining momentum. Use all that momentum from that one hill, I believe. Okay, corkscrew up, bleed out some speed. Nice little dip right here. That was section 9. Here comes section 10. Section 10 was meant to be more of a return to the extreme. And also, for some reason, you climb this part very slow. Build up the anticipation. Climbing slowly but surely, into section 10. I believe there's 1 or 2 more sections after this. I forget how I divided them up. But yeah, we're getting there. As you can see, it's now nighttime. It's now nighttime in the game. Look how far up we are. Can't even see because of that dummy. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so here comes section 10. Section 10 was meant to be more of a return to the extreme, the final extreme section of the park. We had to start removing track supports at this point because we were running out of memory, which is a big limitation to playing this on console over PC. Yeah, now we're into section 10. You can see the scenic ride right here. This part's meant to like really jar you out of your seat. And here comes section 11, the final cool down. It goes from extreme and starts to pull you back down and let you relax and calm down. And the final section. Gets to slow down here a little more. Just go through the bends gently. brakes. And there we go. And that was the ride. So let's see the results. Duration. 677 seconds. So that's what, 11 minutes? 37,000 feet. That's so that you basically went as high as an airplane flies, a commercial jetliner. Let me bring up the calculator real quick, because you know that's. Let's use that. 37,064 divided by. Feet isn't a mile. I think it's 5,240. Always best to check though. 5,280. So this roller coaster is 7 miles long, roughly. Has an average speed of 37 miles per hour, a maximum speed of 140 miles per hour, and the biggest drop is 759 feet. So this thing just completely goes beyond any other roller coaster in the world. And the max G forces, I'm pretty sure they would knock people unconscious. So, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. So, hope you guys enjoyed my park. I think this place was pretty cool. Would you ride this roller coaster in real life? Answer in the comments below. You would or wouldn't, and why? I mean, I definitely wouldn't. And I don't think anybody would, but, you know, there might be some thrill seeker out there that would enjoy this. But either way, this was meant to be an exercise in coaster building to push to its limits. So I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day, everyone.